Would you put that down already? We got a video to record.
No, I need to catch Pokemon.
Would you? Come on. We only have like so many hours in a day, and this is getting ridiculous.
Shh. The hell is this?
What's that?
You have a weird one in your yard. Oh, what's it say? A wild Wasp 77 appeared?
Well, it's about goddamn time. What's up, everybody? Griever here, and today, yes, we are going to finally be taking a look at this, the Wasp 77. So, I got this from 416 Gel Blaster. I did not, this was not sent to me. I did purchase this with my own money, although I wish I had gotten sent something like this for a review. But as with all of my reviews, we're going to go over how this thing works, the aesthetics of the blaster, how to actually use it. We're going to take it over to the workbench. We're going to take a look at the insides of it, but I'll explain kind of why, how and why later. And then, of course, I'll give you my final thoughts on this thing. So, I got this probably about a month and a half ago. I finally got around to when I filmed the cold open with Arlene. But yeah, unfortunately, it's been stupid cold, and also I did wind up getting kind of sick, unfortunately, during February. So I'm finally getting around to reviewing this thing, which I'm very happy to finally review it. So what is the Wasp 77? The Wasp 77 is part of the renaissance of AEB blasters, or automatic electronic blaster, very similar to a airsoft AEG. We had the original Stampede so many years ago. That was really the first one. But after that, Nerf and Hasbro stepped away from AEB blasters and kind of focused on flywheel technology. So almost everything since then has been flywheel technology, until Colonel Wasp made the 76, which was a pro style or competitive style AEB blaster. And since then, we've had things like, I think it's the Ziku ZB1 and 2, the inverted scales, and the Sweetheart Storm come out, and now we have this. I guess the successor to the 76, the 77. So, as I mentioned, this is an AEB blaster, so it is a battery-operated Springer. And how that works is, you can kind of see through here, since I have the transparent red, a gearbox up here, and the way it works is you turn your blaster on, which is on the right side of the blaster. You push this button in. When it's down, it's on. When it's up, it's off. So you put it on. This will automatically cycle once as you turn it on, priming the blaster automatically and basically kind of getting you ready to go. At that point, you would take your magazine, load it in. I believe this is Katana only, not Katana. I believe this is Talon only. So Dart Zone and Katana magazines won't work in here. It's worker only. But at that point, what you do is you rack the charging handle up here, and it is ambidextrous. You would rack it once, and then you're really good to go at that point. Now, to actually fire the blaster, you have your fire control over here on the left side. You have all the way down, which is safe, your middle setting, which is semi-automatic, which is one dart with one trigger pull, and then all the way up is your full auto. So at this point, full mag is in here, you rack that, you pull the trigger, and you let go when you're empty. Or after you hit your target, whichever. But that's the way that kind of works. So now what this comes with is you do get a 18-round Talon magazine. You do also get a LiPo for this. So you will get a battery with this, so you're basically really able, and charger, you're basically able to use this right out of box. I don't remember if this comes with darts or not, but I will put here if it does or doesn't. Now, the back end of mine is a little different than what you would get standard. I did get an additional battery grip extension, and I also did get the buffer tube attachment point as well. Reason being, for at least for this, and I'll explain now, is this is the stock that it comes with, and it is awful. I hate this thing. This is a tiny, tiny little nub of a nuanced nonsense. Like, I'll be honest, if I had my choice of using that as a stock or the one that came with the Seagull initially, I would pick that one 10 out of 10. And y'all know I did not like that one at all. Aesthetically, I have the transparent red version. You also do have a clear version, a transparent orange, a smoke or transparent black, and then a solid yellow. I know the Ziku one also comes in solid yellow too, so I don't know if yellow is the new toy color, I guess. I don't know. But I got the transparent red because it's my aesthetic. You do get, it is fairly tactical right out of the box. You have a full Picatinny rail up top here. I haven't gotten a sight for this yet, which I will need to. And you have a little bit of Picatinny right up front here. This would be good for an actual vertical foregrip if you wanted. It's going to be kind of hard to put a angled foregrip or even an angled vertical foregrip up here, just because it's such a small space. I mean, you could probably fit a flashlight up there fine, but yeah, as far as grips, you're going to be kind of limited with as it is. This does not come with a scar barrel, so you would have to get your own. Oh, and the battery does get housed in the grip on this particular one. I believe on the 76 it was in the buffer tube. And I don't remember if that actually came with a buffer tube or not, or if you had to purchase it separately. Again, I'll make a note here. But yeah, for this one, your battery goes in your grip here. I think that really kind of covers everything at the given moment. There are some 3D printed accessories that are available on M416 outside of these two, which I will go over in my final thoughts on it, because I'll kind of answer if it's like, worth it or not type of thing at that point. But yeah, I think that's covers just about everything for this right now. So let's go over to the images of the internals of this thing, which were graciously sent to me by Tom, my friend, and also from Dart Sweep. So thank you guys for helping me out with this thing and not making me open up mine, and be willing to send me pictures of yours. So let's go take a look at the internals, and then we will get to my final thoughts on this thing. Whatever. Okay, so quick shout out to my friend Tom and to Dart Sweep for actually sending me these, so I didn't have to open up mine. Here we have a video, quick video of Tom showing me what the clear happens to look like. Thank you again very much for sending this out, Tom. Appreciate it. And here is the internal picture of what Dart Sweep had sent over. So looking at the internals in and of itself, it doesn't seem all that bad. You have the wiring down where the grip is. You can see it feeding through there, and the screw holes on either side of it. So I don't know, maybe you would be able to switch out the grip on this. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but also I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I'm happy with the grip, but we'll discuss that more later. Right, if you go straight up from where the battery connection wire is you can see where the plunger and the catch are. The plunger is back at the moment, since there's no spring in here. It was retracted. You see the plunger there, and then you can see the priming bar straight across, being able to get everything set. You see the return spring for the priming section right in the middle of it, and then obviously right at front is the actual priming mechanism in of itself, which then basically rides right over those gears with the motor, which is powered by your lipo. Um, the back end of it to release the catch and all of that is very strictly mechanical. There is also you really can't see it too much here, but there is a mechanical. Actually, no, you can see it right just above where the magazine release is. There is a mechanical safety for if a dart isn't feeding properly or if the magazine isn't seated correctly. You are not able to actually pull the trigger. But outside of that, there is no electronic. There isn't anything electronic with the trigger that I can see in and of itself. Everything just feeds the motor. You just have the switch that is probably connected, not connected to the trigger, but that the trigger actuates, kind of like a strife. And then, just like dead center is the magazine well. So, yeah, this is the internals of the 77. Again, not as bad as I thought it would be. My concern is I just don't want to kind of like screw with it because I don't want to break any of the wiring connections and thus having to try and solder because I'm not the best at that. But all right, so since we're all done here, let's just go back to the wall and I will give you my final thoughts on this. Okay, so now we're going to get to my final thoughts on this. And fair warning, this may get a little rambly. I apologize now in advance. So there are pros and there are a bunch of cons with this one. So first off, pro. It's nice to have a blaster that doesn't sound like a whirring chainsaw. Um, Even though it's not the quietest thing, I still like it. I still like these way better than any flywheel blaster that there is. Going off of that, performance-wise, this thing is a beast. So here are some numbers of what I was able to get out of this thing using just the standard worker darts, these particular ones. Using those darts, you can see the performance I was getting out of here, and that was with the standard spring that came with this by default, not even using the heavy spring. And yeah, that's pretty nuts. And that's also without any scar barrel as well. I do need to get a scar barrel for this, so I'll probably have a small dip in performance, but if the standard spring is supposed to be doing 200 plus and I'm getting an average of like 230, 240, I'm okay with that. Especially on like a not 100% charged battery as well. I mean, I'm very well okay with that. Now, actually firing this thing is really, really nice, especially when it does fire. The uh, the firing is very smooth. It's not it's a you get I mean it's electronic, so you still get like a loud gear noise, but it isn't terrible. It's something I am very much looking forward to using this season, and really can't wait to get it out on the field and really put it through paces, not just like firing it off and playing around in the garage. Okay, but now moving on to some of the things that I wasn't too thrilled with, and this isn't just issues I personally had. These are just quality of life things that could be addressed at some future point. So first and foremost, the stock. I had to get a 3D printed part in order to actually make this a proper buffer tube stock. And the reason being is because in order to swap out your springs, you have to unscrew this metal tube. And I say tube because that little piece of crap gray piece does not a stock it make. Especially since like the advent of the Dart Zone Pro Mark 1 and 1.1, you've been able to swap springs in and out of buffer tubes just with a little cap on the back. Very easily could have done that. Even if you wanted the fact that you wanted a metal buffer tube in here, that's fine. you still could have had a easily accessible cap at the back end of it and just made this whole piece metal. Not have to worry about a 3D printed part that screws all the way into the back of it. Because, sorry, I mean, for as sturdy as this is, which is fine, you could have just put a cap back here, easily just take a stock off, swap it out, be done with it. That's all you had to do. For the fact that you have to get a separate piece just to put a good stock on this, that I'm personally not a fan of, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Moving into the extended battery grip. Now, I did not get it because the grip was too small for me. I got it because there really wasn't, in my opinion, a whole hell of a lot of room for the battery in and of itself. I'm still nervous when it comes to handling lipos and things like that, where I want to make sure the wires have enough room to like move around. You're not pinching them, you're not jamming them, that kind of thing. So with the battery extension, it's perfect. You have plenty of room here. Without it though, you have this little plate that holds the battery in about maybe here or so. So you're even losing room with it standard. Now, unfortunately, the downside on that is also in order to access your battery, you have one screw here, and then you have one screw all the way down deep in here. So I have this specific screwdriver that is just perfect, that it is big enough for the nut and just fits in order to unscrew that. Outside of, and again, it's small enough that it's just the right size. If not, my screwdrivers are either too long or they're too thick and won't fit.
Grin, grin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
So there's that. The fire selector is another little, can use a quality of life update. So yeah, I mean, here you're seeing it moves very easily, which is fine. Except if you just push in the back here, it really like kind of locks it in. But when you're moving it, I don't know. It just seems like for me to have to push and kind of lock it into place, it's not a good switch. It could definitely use with a better either connection point or a better switch in and of itself. But again, that's my opinion, which is also why you're watching this video. But that, again, I digress. The front end of this isn't bad. I would have liked either this brought down in full Picatinny here. Like, I know why there's this here because this is the gearbox and everything. But for the fact that you then short up front here so that you can put ever so like small Picatinny rail there, to me made no sense. You could have just added a little bit more plastic, put the full Picatinny down there, or even part Picatinny down here, so that you could put a proper angled foregrip or whatever there. Again, there is a 3D printed piece that does, attach down here so that you can use Picatinny on this section. And I believe it also may extend this piece as well, because there's a front end piece that can go over this as well. Again, for the fact that there were updates with 3D printed parts just to make quality of life changes on this, really shows that they either should come standard with this blaster, or you should just do it to begin with. Also, maybe like a little like power light or something like this, just to just a actual visual indicator saying, "Hey, this is still on." That also would have been nice, but I digress on that one. If you're looking at the button, you can tell if it's on or off. But again, just a little indicator light would have been nice. Yeah, I think I kind of railed on those a bit more, but truth be told, even with all of those problems, I still like this thing because this thing still hits like a truck. There are things that could definitely be improved upon this, for certain, but I still can't take away the how well this actually does perform and, you know, be utilized. Like this is a really good blaster. Performance wise, as I mentioned, again, I apologize if I'm rambling, but overall, I do like this blaster. It definitely can become an acquired taste, I guess, if you want to say. If you want to go for a cheaper option, the Ziku is definitely that for sure. Um, but outside of that, it's really hard to find a solid AEB blaster because you can get an inverted scales or you can get a Sweetheart Storm, but those also are not without their flaws as well, and those are way more expensive than what I paid for this. Um, so I'm glad I put the money out for this with the problems that it has and gotten, you know, something still very solid, something that I'm really looking forward to using, but it also didn't break my bank. So I guess that's where I'm going to leave it off at that. I will have links down below for M416 if you would like to go pick up one of these yourself. Again, I think at time of recording this, I still think it's all sold out, but who knows? Maybe if it comes back into stock, you can, you know, go grab some stuff you can go grab one for yourself or something. But that's where I'm going to end it for this video. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please throw us a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Wasp 77, or do you have your own favorite AEB, whether it be the Ziku, the Sweetheart Storm, the Scales, or even a modified Stampede. Let me know down in the comments below. I love reading them all. And, oh, don't forget to click that little bell icon. Otherwise, you might not know when me and Arlene are doing our silliness here on the channel. And again, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry if this wasn't up to snuff, but again, first real video of 2025 of trying to get back into the swing of things, and hopefully I will be getting back into that swing very, very soon and very much more often. So again, thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Later.